Hi.
Hey, I know that
I'm.
just know that we can't talk about a lot
Yeah.
on here. Did Travis get a hold of you?
Yeah, I've been talking to Travis.
Oh, good.
Friends, have you ever thought that just one court decision can completely turn the entire Duggar family's plans upside down overnight? Today, I have a very big, breaking, and explosive update about the Duggar family. And honestly, after hearing this, many people are completely stunned. Well, friends, have you noticed something very interesting here? In the eyes of the law, Kendra Duggar is now being treated completely differently from Joseph. On one side, Joseph is facing extremely serious charges in Florida, and reportedly, he is not even able to see his own children. But on the other side, Kendra suddenly managed to get a huge legal victory from the court. So the big question is, why? Why did the judge suddenly lift the no-contact order for Kendra, while Joseph is still stuck under strict restrictions? What exactly is happening behind the scenes here? And what kind of game is being played quietly in the background? In today's video, I'll show you the inside details of this case, along with some explosive logic that has made people online completely confused. And honestly, the deeper you go into this story, the more intense it starts to feel. Some people are even asking now, is the Duggar family trying to do damage control through Kendra instead of saving Joseph? Watch this video till the end, because if you miss the twist in the middle, you may not fully understand the real mystery behind all this. And friends, before we continue, tell me honestly in the comments, what do you think about these two completely different court decisions? If you enjoy these investigative style videos, don't forget to like, comment, and share with your friends too. Alright friends, now let's get into the real story. Kendra Duggar quietly entered the courtroom, and later came out with something that may completely change the tone of this entire case. According to public court information, the restraining order connected to her children was lifted on April 17. But the part people cannot stop talking about is this: Joseph is still under a strict restraining order. And honestly, this difference is exactly what grabbed everyone's attention. Because when a husband and wife are involved in the same legal situation, but the court treats them differently, people naturally start asking questions. Why did Kendra receive this change? What did the court see differently? And what could this mean for the family moving forward? This is where the story starts becoming much more emotional, not just legal. For a long time, most Duggar-related headlines focused on investigations, court appearances, restrictions, and the family's silence. But this update feels more personal, because now, children and family contact are directly involved. And naturally, that creates a strong emotional reaction among viewers. Honestly, that's one big reason this story is spreading so fast online. From what has been publicly discussed, it appears that Kendra's legal team requested the judge to lift the restrictions involving her children. And apparently, the request was granted. Meanwhile, Joseph's restrictions remain unchanged. Now this part is very important, because in situations like this, courts usually examine each person separately. A judge may look at someone's direct involvement, level of responsibility, cooperation with court orders, possible risks, and the overall circumstances, before making a decision. So even though Kendra and Joseph are married, legally, the court does not automatically treat them as one single unit. And honestly, many viewers are only realizing that now. A lot of people assumed that whatever happened to one person would automatically apply to the other two. But legally, that's not always true, depending on the evidence and the concerns involved. Courts can create completely different legal situations inside the same family, and that changes public opinion very quickly. Before this, many people online saw everything as one combined family issue. But now, viewers are starting to separate Kendra's situation from Joseph's situation. And honestly, that shift is huge. What's even more surprising is how quietly all this happened. There were no dramatic press conferences, no emotional social media statements, no public family response. Just one legal request and one court decision. And suddenly, the internet exploded with discussion. Sometimes, the quietest legal actions end up becoming the biggest stories later. Another major reason people are paying attention to this update is because children are involved. Whenever court orders involve family contact or visitation rights with children, public attention immediately becomes more emotional. Even people who normally don't follow legal news closely suddenly become interested. But at the same time, we also have to be careful, because online discussions can quickly turn into pure speculation. Right now, many details are still private or very limited. So while people are discussing possible meanings behind the court's decision, rumors should not automatically be treated as facts. Still, the timing of this decision has definitely created intense conversation online. Some viewers believe the court felt comfortable lifting Kendra's restrictions because her legal situation was evaluated differently. Others believe the court simply found enough reason to modify one order, while temporarily keeping the other one active. And honestly, these two possibilities are exactly why this story feels so intense right now. Because essentially, the court has now created two completely different realities within the same family. Kendra now appears to have regained some level of normal family communication. Meanwhile, Joseph reportedly remains under much stricter limitations. And naturally, that creates emotional tension. Because people immediately imagine what life behind closed doors must feel like for this family. Trying to manage court rules, parenting responsibilities, legal pressure, public attention, all at the same time. And honestly, viewers can feel that tension even without dramatic public statements. This is also where public opinion becomes sharply divided. Some people online are seeing Kendra's court result as proof that the judge recognized important differences in her situation. Others are being more cautious, saying that one legal decision does not automatically answer every bigger question surrounding the case. And honestly, that second point is also important, because court orders can change for many different reasons. Sometimes restrictions are eased because certain conditions are met. Sometimes lawyers successfully argue for limited changes. And other times, judges simply re-evaluate situations over time. Legal processes are usually much more complicated than social media makes them appear. But at the same time, public perception matters too. And right now, public opinion definitely seems to be shifting. Some people are now wondering, is Kendra legally distancing herself from Joseph's situation? Others believe this could be the beginning of a much larger shift in the Duggar family's overall legal strategy. Now again, these are online discussions and public questions, not confirmed facts. But honestly, people's curiosity is understandable. because this family has been under public scrutiny for years. Every court filing, every silence, every appearance, suddenly becomes part of a much larger story. And this update feels different. Because now, it's not just about headlines anymore. It's about family structure, parenting, trust, and public image. Another thing many viewers have noticed is how carefully the Duggar family has handled public relations recently. There are fewer interviews now, fewer direct public statements, and much tighter control over appearances. And honestly, silence often creates even more speculation. Because when people don't receive direct explanations, they start building their own theories. And sometimes, that creates an even bigger online conversation than official statements themselves. I also think many viewers are emotionally connecting with Kendra specifically, because she appeared alone in court during this situation. Whether intentional or not, that image leaves a strong emotional impact. One person requesting a legal change connected to family contact, while another family member remains under restrictions. Without even adding sensational details, it already sounds dramatic. And honestly, that alone tells a story. Maybe that's exactly why thumbnails and headlines about this issue are spreading everywhere right now. People emotionally connect with contrast. One restriction lifted. One restriction still active. One family facing two completely different legal realities. But behind all the online debate, these are still real people dealing with real pressure. And regardless of public opinion, family-related legal situations are usually complicated, stressful, and emotionally exhausting for everyone involved. As this case continues, many people will probably keep focusing on one major question. Was this simply a small procedural court change? Or is this actually the beginning of a much bigger shift inside the Duggar family situation? Right now, nobody fully knows. But one thing is very clear. After April 17th, the entire conversation surrounding Kendra and Joseph completely changed.